Today, the spin-on filter remains the most popular automotive oil filter in use, and when it's due to be serviced, specific steps are required. So let's take a look at the fundamentals of servicing a spin-on oil filter. Before you begin, make sure that none of the vehicle's warning indicators, such as the check engine light, are displayed. If so, the oil change should not be performed without first establishing the reason for the warning indicators. Because safety must always be a first consideration, it's a good practice to use an oil out reminder. An orange cone is a common item used to alert others that the engine is being serviced and should not be started. This procedure will also involve working underneath a car or truck. Remember to observe all of the safety rules and procedures for securing the vehicle before you go underneath. The first step in the oil change process is to identify the correct oil type and the correct filter for the vehicle. It is important to use only the oil type that is recommended by the vehicle's manufacturer. This information can readily be found in the vehicle's owner's manual or by using approved online resources. When selecting the oil filter, use only the most current information available. The correct part number for your application can quickly be found on the filter manufacturer's internet website or through the use of electronic cataloging systems. Although filters may be very similar in size and appearance, they are not all created equally. Differences in media type, bypass valve settings, and base plate geometries are just a few of the characteristics that can make filters fit and perform differently. Remember, filters are specifically designed to function in specific applications. They are not interchangeable. Okay, now let's move on to the tools that you'll need. Information on special tools and procedures required for a particular vehicle can be found by using approved online data resources. The common items that are usually required are a catch pan to contain the used oil as it drains from the vehicle, a filter wrench or cap wrench to aid in the removal of the old filter, a standard wrench or ratchet set that will be used to remove the oil drain plug, a funnel, some shop towels, and don't forget your safety glasses. Begin the process of changing the oil by removing the oil drain plug, which is located on the oil pan. Also, make sure that you have your catch pan correctly positioned to contain the oil as it drains from your vehicle. After removal, note the condition of the sealing washer, which is located on the oil drain plug, and replace if necessary. Once the oil is drained from the oil pan, replace the drain plug. Tighten the plug to the engine manufacturer's recommended torque, but do not over-tighten. Next, locate and remove the used oil filter. Reposition the catch pan if necessary, as some oil will likely drain from the used oil filter as it is removed. Exercise caution during this step. If the engine has recently been at operating temperature, the oil will likely be hot. When the filter has been unscrewed from the engine, make sure that the sealing gasket from the previous filter has been removed also and is not stuck to the engine base. Carefully inspect the gasket seal surface and the filter mounting stud. Both must be clean and in good condition. Once the correct filter part number has been identified, carefully inspect it. Remember, a dented or damaged filter should not be used. After inspection, review the installation instructions printed on the filter. Universal Symbols provide the following installation instructions. Clean the base and stud, oil the gasket, screw the filter on until you get gasket contact, tighten another 3/4 turn after gasket contact, add oil, start the engine, and check for leaks. Check the oil pressure. Following these instructions is the key to worry-free service. After the filter has been inspected and instructions read, use clean new oil to lubricate the filter gasket. Do not use old oil and don't use grease. As the clean oil is being applied, make sure that the gasket is properly seated in its locator groove. Now it's time to install the new filter. Carefully align the threads with the engine mounting stud and spin the filter on until the sealing gasket contacts the engine mounting base. Then tighten the filter per the installation instruction. If the location of the filter necessitates, use a filter wrench, but make sure that you don't dent or damage the filter. Dents to the filter can will flex when the lubrication system's oil pump forces pressurized oil through the filter. Over time, these pressure pulses may weaken the can near the dented area, resulting in fatigue fractures. Always look the filter over to make sure it's free from dents and defects before and after installation. A simple and effective way to ensure that the filter is tightened properly is to use a marker pen to scribe an indicator mark. By using this mark, you can verify exactly how far the filter has been rotated while tightening. The capacity chart in the filter's owner's manual will identify how much oil is required for the engine. Never overfill and never underfill the engine oil sump. Frequently check the engine's oil dipstick to monitor the oil level. Once the correct amount of oil has been poured into the engine, take a minute to double-check some things. Make sure that all of your tools and equipment have been secured in a safe location and the engine compartment has been cleared. Double-check to make sure that the oil drain plug has been installed and the filter has been correctly tightened. And then perform one last check of the oil level using the dipstick. Time to start the engine. Let the engine idle for a minute or two. While the engine is idling, thoroughly inspect and watch for any signs of leakage. Shut the engine off, inspect for leaks again, and then after the engine has been off for a minute or two, again, check the engine's dipstick to verify that the oil level is correct. The last step is to reset the vehicle's service indicator, if so equipped. The technique for doing this can be found in the vehicle's owner's manual or on approved online data resources. Now that the service procedure has been completed, please ensure that all of your used oils and soiled items are disposed of in accordance with all legal and regulatory requirements.